episode of the Coach and the Disconnected, and we got a different coach in the building tonight. So we got a special guest host. I'm gonna bring her on, and she gonna bring the noise and the energy. Y'all better give her a round of applause because this lady is never short for energy.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll read the clapper. I just wanted to make some noise. Hey, how y'all doing?
Oh, we knew it was going down. So, y'all, welcome Coach Toy to the show as our guest host this fine evening. She's going to be joining in on this conversation because our dear Carrie is out adulting this fine evening. So, we're going to let her adult like the adultiest adult ever and still keep this show rolling. So, Coach, before we jump into tonight's topic and bring on our wonderful guest who is also in the building, how you feeling this week? What did we celebrate this week? Happy belated birthday.
Where do I start on this journey? Well, on yesterday, I turned 45. And it is a milestone. Yeah, I said 45. It is a milestone for me. And for so many different reasons, right? It's interesting to me, though, when I tell people that I'm 40, people who know me professionally, when they think of me from a business perspective, they think I'm a lot older. But when they see me and I'm around them, it's like, you 40, like, I thought you were significantly younger than that. I'm like, I'm just silly. And I'm petite, you know what I mean? But I ain't nothing to be played with. So yes, I've celebrated my 40th birthday. And the other thing is I have 3 sisters that did not make it to 40. So this is huge for me. So we're going to turn up this weekend for every sister and my first cousin who we lost 2 years ago. We were literally 48 hours apart due to her illness. So it's really special.
I love it. So, Coach, what has been your favorite part of celebrating your birthday this week so far?
Oh, are we really going there?
Oh, yes, we going there.
Spending time with my significant other. That was really good for me. The massage was good. The dinner was good, but it was the quality time for me. And then just being separate of any business deals, conversations, the noise, just really just tuning everything out and just being us was absolutely awesome. And y'all, my kid is cray. So I get
you have met yourself, right? It was bound to happen.
Absolutely. They had on each side of the canopy bed when I got home, I thought it was the cutest thing. It spelled out happy birthday with the balloons. I thought that was dope. So yeah, I had a very, very, very good day yesterday.
Beautiful. I love it. Damn, mommy, I still gotta send you a little gift, but we'll get around to that in a little bit.
I'm waiting on the weekend.
Girl, you ain't gonna be no good on Monday.
I won't be. Sunday. I might have to call out.
So as y'all jump on here, be sure to tell us hello, good evening, how you feeling, how's your week going, and what are you most looking forward to this weekend as we approach this, well, we are on Friday Eve, but as we approach this weekend beginning tomorrow evening for everybody. And Coach T, Nicole's in the house. Good evening, beautiful.
Hey, Coach T. ICC graduate into his house.
Yes. Speaking of which, Coach T is our guest next week. I'm so excited.
I love it. I'll be tuned in. For
so
sure.
Y'all, I've had some interesting, I was watching a show yesterday, Brother King Suave show, actually, Social Therapy with Dr. Brother Suave. And they were talking about messages. How messages can sometimes come through people that like you might not particularly care for, but it's not who it's coming from, it's the message itself. So to add to that, I got a memory today of something that I posted 2 years ago with basically the same message. Don't worry about the messenger, pay attention to the message. So I don't know who else might need to hear that, but I figured I'd share because I've seen it 3 places in 2 days. And yeah, because I used to have a hard time. I had a really good coach that a lot of people didn't particularly care for, but at the end of the day, he came into my life at the best time for me. So I don't complain. Some people didn't like him, wasn't their cup of tea, but he was what I needed at the time that I needed him. And I still love that dude. That would be Dr. Jerry Bobo. So what's up, Lenita? How you doing, Sister Queen? That part.
And then to add to that, oftentimes our egos get in the way.
Right.
And I was having a conversation with someone before, and they was talking about the Black community and but the guy who he was having a conversation with was Jewish. And he said, me and my brother hate each other. He said, but we are great business partners. He said, a lot of times in our community, in the Black community, our egos get in the way. Right. And egos will tear down everything you've ever built if you don't know how to manage your ego. So when you're thinking about the messenger and the message, I don't have to, it's a coach right now that we all are familiar with. And I ain't gonna call no names. I ain't gonna say if it's male or female. I don't particularly care for it. But the person, you cannot deny the knowledge. You cannot deny the value. Right. So when you know that, get out of your own way. Then look in the mirror to figure out what is it about me that dislike this about that person. Oftentimes, if we deal deep enough, it is not the messenger. It's something
that they're reminding us of ourselves.
And it won't penetrate. The message won't penetrate as a result of that. Well, so yeah, it is so true.
But I absolutely love that though, because like there are a lot of people that I'm very particular about who I let close to me. Mm-hmm. Y'all already know this. But I have learned not, because I'm an extremely emotional individual, not emotionally unintelligent, but emotional. I'm able to keep it under control for the most part. I have my 10-15% of the time that it'll get the better of me. Mm-hmm. But I'm still working to get to that 95%, because every now and then you still got to be wild with your emotions. Sometimes you got to just let it flow the way that it's going to flow. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you end up fighting yourself. And if you end up fighting yourself, then what you going to actually get accomplished? And 9 times out of 10, it's us we're fighting in the first damn place, actually.
That's why personal development is so important. A lot of people get it twisted. You know what I mean? You can be grown, you can be bossed up, you can be whatever that thing is. But in my motto, I can't let anything control my mind, mood, or money. When you think about the brain and the way that it works, the thoughts that you think based off of the experiences you've had, the generational abilities, the generational inabilities, which cause learned helplessness along the way, makes us coddled and strong-arm certain opinions about things, which bring about emotions. The way that that's happening inside of your body is neurotransmitters are being produced as you are thinking those thoughts, which are connected to your mood. When you start to feel a certain way based off of the thought that you thought, the experiences that you've had, and the way you were taught, once those neurotransmitters start producing, if it's negative, the mood is going to be negative Nancy. If it's positive, you're going to be excited. That then dictates your motivation or your demotivation to make your money. So that is a small breakdown of the motto, I can't let anything control my mind, mood, or money. And to also bring awareness to the most important part in there is the mood, because the way you react and act to things would be the difference between life and death, for richer or poor, breaking a bond, building a bond. All of that matters. So yes, you got to get control of those emotions, or it will definitely take control of you and affect every outcome that you have coming towards your way from this point forward. Or that point backwards. I mean,
that part. Now, what I love about that, if y'all didn't catch this, y'all just got a little snippet. One, you're working on something in the background that I'm not even going to announce right now. But what I will say is that snippet that she just shared is actually master level coaching.
100%.
So y'all just got a little piece for free.
You gonna hear here first. You will be a master coach September of this year. Get ready.
No, I've been waiting.
Ready. September of this year, coming to you fresh off the.
I can't wait.
You're the conveyor belt. Master coach.
Grand, beautiful.
DJ.
Queen Carol.
Oh.
Here come that energy I was warning y'all about. If you ain't ready, go get you an adult beverage or something.
Right. I love it. We're here to have fun.
So, Coach, we got this our tribe. We've been leaning on ICC Strong, and I've been thinking about that for a while now. I want to know what ICC Strong means to you.
Oh, that's a great question. I'm ready for that one. So here's the thing. Let me back up a little bit. I selfishly started ICC Strong, our tribe, because oftentimes when you join any type of other organization, whether it's the military or if you are a doctor or if you are coaches or whatever that thing is, a lot of times it is the mutual benefit of an organization. It don't typically center around personal development and circulating dollars within that particular tribe. So I wanted to do something a little different because it was the thing that I was missing. Right. So when I decided to do ICC Strong, when I thought about the strength of graduates from ICC Life Coach Institute in 9 different countries, 29 different states, with people from different backgrounds, from doctors and lawyers and teachers and stay-at-home moms and medical people, and I mean all types, managers, corporate women. I was like, this is a strong, we are not just strength in numbers. We got some real heavy hitters here. And what other way? ICC, that's IK Coaching or ICC Life Coach Institute. Strong. I love our tribe. Every dollar that I spend with my business, almost every dollar, 98% of the money I spend with my business is within the tribe. I don't go, if somebody in the tribe can do something,
I can attest to that.
I'm going to pull you in. I mean, why would I spend my money somewhere else? My whole thing is I force everybody to spend money with each other. We don't do no for free unless we want to. If we bartering, that's one different thing. But we got bills to pay. We grown women with needs.
That part right there.
So yeah,
but that's also what I love about it too. One thing that I love how there's a lot of us women. A good portion of us just happen to be Black. ICC is for everybody. A lot of us just happen to be Black. We don't compete. Something that Carrie loves to say is we don't compete, we collaborate. And that's something that we truly, truly believe in. And it's something that I, for a long time, didn't think was even possible. So, with that being said, I want to put a pin in that. I want to play a very quick commercial. And I got a segment that Carrie did submit for us this fine evening because we planned this ahead of time. And once that segment is through and y'all come back from our special messages, we will be joined by the beautiful Jennifer Vega. So y'all hold tight. Be sure to share, like, and follow this page. We are on The Coach and The Disconnector on Facebook. And you can also go to e360tv.com in the Fresh Take section. And you can find this show anytime, anywhere on several platforms that I'll share with you guys later. So hang tight. We will be back. Cut it out.
Hey.
Carrie Irene, and I am the CEO and founder of HBA Impact Group. HBA Impact Group is a nonprofit 501c3. ATBA stands for Able to Be Able, because we believe everyone has a gift. And once you realize your ability to use your gift, you can now realize you're able to impact the world on an amazing scale. So we are ATBA Impact Group for that very reason. It is a group of people coming together, discovering what their unique gift is, and using it collectively. ATBA Impact Group is an extension of my inner calling to create a space for people to truly be themselves authentically without having to ask permission from anyone, not worrying about what anyone's going to think about. They are being asked to show up as who they want to be. And that's what makes the resources at HBA Impact Group so rich. The only requirement is to be authentic. And when someone is looking for you to be more authentic because it pleases your soul, it makes it so much better to show up that way, so much easier to show up that way. Because being oneself, I found for me, and I can only speak for myself, has been the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Yet when I mastered just being who I am, it's accompanied with such ease. And that is the way of HBA. We want to create an environment where everybody belongs there because they show up being there authentically, without competition, only collaboration. And that is our focus. We're planting positive seeds of change on a consistent basis in order to continuously eliminate competition through collaboration. And we have mastered that. We have focused on mastering ourselves. And then we can just show up and do that, knowing that no one else can do that.
And we are back, y'all. Oh my God, you can't tell me that wasn't an awesome piece.
It was. I enjoyed it. I recognize everybody in the video. Yes.
Hey, we tribe strong for real around here.
We
so
are.
Without further ado, we're going to bring on our special guest, Jennifer Vega, to have this conversation about domestic violence, because a lot of us have been through it, experienced it ourselves, been witness to it, and it's time to just put it on the table, take it apart, and just confront it. Because there ain't nothing to it but to do it, honestly. I myself have been through it. I've witnessed it. It ain't nothing pretty, but sometimes it happens. So we got to learn how to pull the tools together to move through it, past it, over it, around it, whatever is necessary in order to tap into our high-level lives. So come on in here, Jenny. Where'd your clapper go, Coach? Where'd your clapper go?
Hi, everybody.
Coming to the stage.
What's so staticky?
Oh, it's still staticky. You sound like you're underwater, girl. You sound like you're underwater.
She in a cereal bowl, snap, crack, and popping.
I tell you what.
I tried everything. I even tried switching phone. I don't know if it's the high. It's fine.
I'm telling you, one of your neighbors is stealing your Wi-Fi signal right now. Maybe. Did you turn your Wi-Fi off?
Yeah.
Turn your Wi-Fi off.
I think I did.
We still gonna go.
All right,
Y'all, technical difficulties happen. We gonna keep it rolling anyhow.
We are.
So Jenny, what I need you to do is turn off your Wi-Fi, and if that don't work, we're just gonna throw the whole phone away, and we'll see about you. But it's gonna be what it is. So y'all, Coach, what I want to know from you, what has been your experience with domestic violence?
I was listening to her when she was speaking.
Oh wow. I've never really talked about this publicly. I've never really talked about this publicly. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. I don't know how I feel. Did you really?
Yeah, oh, really? You want me to go first?
So, yeah, you go first. I'll go. Okay, so yes, I have been a victim of domestic violence. It was actually with my first boyfriend. He was a lot older than I was. And you know how when you first meet a guy or whatever, they pull you in with all the, the frantics, all the shiny objects and things of that nature. And I really didn't know any better. All of my sisters are mixed except for me. And it's like I truly was treated like the black sheep. So I kind of needed and out and to feel pretty and to feel like I was just as worthy as they were because, they were light skinned with the good hair. My thing is, if you got hair on your head, that's good. And if you don't, that's all right too.
Right.
But I was a young girl, like a teenager when I experienced the domestic violence from someone I thought that loved me and somebody that I thought I loved. What was interesting was that being older, I realized the manipulation that happened because I was so young and feeble-minded, and I was fragile, right? And so when you have someone that's seeming to be the answer to your issues, he kind of lured me in with that. But once I got in there, it first started off as verbal abuse, right? The verbal abuse turned into the mental abuse. Not only now he's not doing it, I'm doing it to myself at this point now too, because the things that he's saying about me, because he started off lifting me up and this, that, and the third, and then it turned into tearing me down. So once he tore me down, then it started coming to the physical abuse, the choking, the hair pulling, the name calling, he never blacked my eye or anything, but I didn't had a patch of hair missing before. And I've been choked before. And I can remember I broke a couple of lamps over his head before. And I hope I don't go to jail for this, but I actually was starting to poison him. I was going to kill him.
Hey, but when I told, dead, it don't count.
Huh?
If he ain't dead, it don't count.
Exactly, right? So not like literal poison. So it was kind of like, if I don't do something to get out of this relationship, then he gonna kill me. So one of us got to go. So one day I opened up and I told my dad, I was like, Dad, this was going on. Because the final straw for me was, I live in Memphis, right? And so it's a college that's about an hour away from my house. So we got into it about infidelity. And once we got into, because I caught him with the girl, so of course, there was an argument, this, that, and the third. He took me out to the woods. And I can remember it started out with the threatening. And I couldn't really fight back or any of that because we literally pulled over in the middle of the woods. So while I was out there, I just can remember him choking me and saying, "I'm gonna kill you." And I'm like, "Oh shit," I'm like, he really finna kill me, because he was choking me literally until I couldn't breathe anymore, and then he'll let me go and let me gasp for air. So of course, now I got to start thinking. Y'all, I was about 17 years old. Keep that in mind. 17, 18 years old. So once he let me go that last time, of course, I went into the feeble position. I stopped fighting, and I started to make a decision to say, if I don't give in and make him feel like he's in true power, he really will kill me. So after I gave in to him, we ended up going back to Memphis, and we was on can't remember the name of the street, and I passed it a lot. I can't remember what the name of it was. Cleveland. So we were on Cleveland, and when we got close enough to civilization, I jumped out of the car and I held on to a pole. So I was holding on to this pole so somebody could see me. So when the lady, I remember plain as day, a lady saw me and he was trying to pull me from the pole, but he stopped because traffic started to flow. She then called the police, and then they took both of us to jail. Okay, of course I didn't get charged or anything. After that, when I got home, I told my daddy what was going on. And so when my daddy got involved, never really dealt or saw him again. So when I told my daddy what was happening, I gave him the key to my apartment. Keep in mind, I've been on my own since I was 15. I gave him the key to my apartment. My daddy went and handled it. I had no more issues to this very day.
Well, now.
So I suffered.
Some goddamn men in our lives are just, you know what? I don't know exactly what was said to the ex that is responsible for my experience with domestic violence. I just know I never heard from him the day that I put him on my now husband. I put him on the phone with my now husband because he would not stop calling my phone. He would literally call my phone hundreds of times in a day. And this was back before we had unlimited minutes. Right. So this one got upset. In fact, he lied to me about something. He was supposed to go to the pawn shop and put money on a computer or something. But what he did is he went in there, he stole a receipt, wrote on it, and acted like he paid it. I was like, this don't look right. So I called up there. I said, hey, did somebody come in there and make a payment on my laptop? And they said, no. So I confronted them about it. I'm at work. I'm a CNA at a nursing home, y'all. And he didn't like the fact that I called him on his bullshit. So I was like, you know what? This was your last chance to do right, because he had several chances. I don't know why we do that, y'all. Why we give people that don't deserve them extra chances. But I was young and dumb as well. I had been maybe about 20. And I let him know I was done. Well, he didn't like that I was done. I told him, because I had a little 2001 Ford Explorer Sport, the little 2-door Ford Explorer. And I was trying to get him out of the door so I could drive off and get away from him. And he wouldn't get out the door. So I maced his ass. He got mad, tried to drag me out the truck and punched me in the back of my head. And I'm not one of those people that tolerate that kind of stuff very well. He punched me in the back of my head and something went black, okay? I don't know what happened, but somehow he ended up with his... I was kicking. And I connected. But there were corporate people at the nursing home that day that was walking outside and saw the confrontation going down, and the cops ended up being called in that instance as well. And the cops had me in the back of a police car because they needed me to fill out a report. But some of my coworkers, as concerned as they were, came out, and my girl Vera, I remember it plain as day, walked around. She said, "Are y'all taking her?" They're like, no, she just needs to fill out some paperwork. We're familiar with this individual, because the individual in question at that time was also gang affiliated. So when I tell you, y'all, I literally seriously considered joining a gang at that age as well. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but I'm glad I made the better choice of the two choices. But that was my experience with a physical altercation with somebody that I thought I loved at the time too. It did not go as far as yours did, because luckily, being a gymnast, I was extremely strong, and I still am stronger than the average woman. So I am able to hold my own, even though I'm only a couple of inches taller than you. But not everybody grew up lifting themselves up the way that I have, and I thank God for that, because that's probably the only reason why I was able to fight that day, because of that particular gift that was bestowed on me. But we got Jennifer back in the house now, and she might be moving around, but the picture looks clean, so we gonna go with it, y'all. What up, sis? You look much better. We can hear you and everything.
Yes, I'm trying to
Again,
move. I switched phones. But wait, I switched phones and I still hear it. Not as bad. I didn't switch phones, and I think it's just the house per se.
It could be, but we
I
can hear
listened to
you
both of
better.
your stories even before we started talking about domestic violence. For real? All right, then that's great. That's all that matters. And then I was listening to her when she was talking about the mind, and it's like it's crazy that she said that, because I don't mean to jump off topic, because I noticed when I started meditating, like at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., that's when your brain is at alpha beta mode. And that's when you could train your subconscious, because that's where we attract everything up from our subconscious, not our regular, normal day-to-day thing. And it's crazy that she said that, right? But anyway. Hi, y'all.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Welcome.
Okay. But yes, you a strong girl, Brandy. But as y'all know, I went through it
too, because
at a young age.
you was holding on to that pole.
Yes.
She was not coming off that pole, y'all.
I wouldn't. Splinters and all in my arms. I didn't care. I just knew I wasn't getting back in that truck.
I'm glad you didn't get back in that truck.
Exactly.
I jumped out the truck while it was moving.
Exactly.
He was slowing down.
I remember them days.
At the yellow to the red light. Oh, I jumped out the truck. And I waited until I got in an area that was real light. I was intentional with it.
Yeah.
That's an important part.
Mine's happened. I was what? I was 13. So, I wasn't with my mother. I didn't have none of them. So we was in the system. So, of course, me hitting the streets. He was 26.
Wow.
I'm sorry. This is always emotional. But I realized when I wrote that book and I did that chapter, that's when I realized I really forgave him. So that means all these years I was holding on, not realizing I was carrying his trauma, and I was inflicting it everywhere. Like even with raising my daughter, trying to put this fear in her when she's fearless. I shouldn't let her be, fearful. Let her continue, but just raise her awareness. It's a difference between fearful and awareness. And I done had guns in my mouth, trigger pulled, jammed. Thank God, that was only God. I done had toes broken, like for years. My family now they read in the chapter. They're like, Jennifer, I didn't know. I know you didn't. For years. I wish that he could have got the same freedom, because hurt people do hurt people. And he went through a lot of trauma. Not excusing what he did to me, but when I was writing it, I realized, like, oh my God, I feel sorry. I pity him. Because he didn't get that freedom and he died. That was his karma, I guess. I remember one time my brother had not my biological brother, but he became my brother after that, when he was like, Jennifer, you have to make a conscious decision. When you're done, I got you. But I can't do this and get at this man and then you go back. Because that was all I knew. I was 13. So he became my father, my best friend, my lover, my teacher, like everything. The only one who understood me when I was going through what I was going through with my mother, because she was an addict, was him. So, manipulation comes in. I don't know. I think I know it all, but I don't. And like a lot of people I know, they look at it like, oh my God, this is like this story, like no one really knew. You couldn't tell by looking at us that we've been through that, And I commend both of y'all, because that's something that really does mess with you, and you don't even realize what it did to you until later on. That's when you raise your awareness for me. But today, there's a lot of females out there that's going through it, and I be so hooked on the young, because it starts so young, and we don't realize. We think it only starts when we're grown. Nah. And it's not only just that. Domestic violence and family. Every time my mother used to come down on her, I was a target for her. I was a target.
That's not the first
She
time
ran
I
out
heard
of my
that
father.
either.
Me either.
So of course,
And
that's
my
something
mom too, Jennifer. My
so
mom
it
was
was
an
like,
addict until I was 14 years old.
huh?
My mom was an addict too until my mom was on drugs. My dad sold drugs. So but they weren't married. They were in two totally different households. But my mom did become sober when I turned 14. She never, my mom never like beat us because of her when she came down off her high or whatever. But what I did notice was the absence of awareness of what was going on around us, because the addiction then became the focus versus raising the kids properly. So I can understand when you say that. It's heavy, and believe it or not, I did not realize, and some piggybacking off what you said, how much trauma I was going through as it relates to like trusting men, you know what I mean, as a result of what happened to me in the past.
Yeah.
And then it was even to the point where I couldn't even really date. And when I did, I would have my, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jennifer.
We got a delay going on with you, Jennifer. Will you do me a favor, Jennifer? Jump off one more time and come back on.
17. Yes. Okay.
All right, I'll bring you right back in.
And
so Jennifer's gonna reset her phone and come back in.
And you know what I just noticed, Coach? The commonality. We were teenagers and these men were grown.
And that's the thing that I noticed as well, because it's like, when you look back at it, you want to be mad at those people that were supposed to be looking after you. But at the same time, it's that humanity piece, right? You remember when you get older and realize you got your own stuff going on at all times, and it's kind of traumatic. And then you understand that they probably had a lot of that stuff going on too, but they didn't work through it the way that we worked through it, but they also didn't have the tools and the knowledge that we have. So it's kind of like, it's not a catch-22, but it's like, what if? What if I had that parental figure that actually looked over me and I didn't have to raise myself during a point in time that I wasn't quite ready?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, God had something in store for me that I needed to be strong for.
Oh, absolutely. I truly believe nothing happens
like with
by
my mother.
accident.
She never. Yeah. Because I'd rather it was me than my sister. I'd rather
or
it was
my
me
daughter.
than my daughter.
Right.
You know, whether it was me than my niece. You know, so it's. I know I couldn't take it at the time, but evidently God knew I was strong enough for it. Like with my mother, when I met, I'm gonna say his name's Dante. That's what I put in the book. I didn't put real names, but when it happened, I lost my virginity at 12 from being raped in the room from my mother getting beat because she was out. Like that time, she was out for at least 3 weeks, and I was taking care of my little brother and sister. And when I went to go to the crack house, because I was going to get her, I couldn't take it no more. I seen the dude, I knew him, and he knew my mother. He's like, no. He's like, where you going? It's late. I was like, I'm going to go get my mother. He's like, no, I got you. Come on, go back to the house. I'm going to go get her. That wasn't his plan. I got beat when I opened the door. He hit me on top of the head. When I tell you blood was in, how you come back from your house the next day and you don't know there's nothing wrong? You got blood on your carpet in the middle of the living room floor. How you did not see that? How you not see me beat up? But that's another story, another topic. But with Dante,
because that's a story and a topic for when like, we got perfect reception with you.
That's the tree. Shade tree. Shade tree.
But not sounding crazy, but I'm kind of great. I wouldn't change nothing because it wouldn't have made me who I am now. And as post-traumatic as it could have been, it made me 100 times stronger. And there's someone out there, and I always believe that there's a story that's worse than mine, believe it or not. So who am I to just be like, oh, just me? No, I don't do the pity party. I can't stand the pity party. Like, I don't like it. I just can't. But with that there, with him for them years, I tried to leave. I tried. You know, I tried. I used to think this man was God at one point because he used to find me everywhere.
Good gracious.
Literally everywhere. No matter what, so I couldn't leave. When I did try to leave and I spoke up, the only way I was going was out a 13-story window. That was the only way I was going to be able to go. But when this happened to me, he let me go find it one time. But come to find out, I heard because he was gang affiliated that he had a hit out on me. He gave me 90 days. If not, he told him to do me in if I didn't come back. But around that time, I was dating this girl, and something happened where I went to prison, and I caught a body at the age of 17. So that saved me. But with what happened with her, she had came back one time saying she got raped. My reaction or the trauma I've been through, my therapist said that wasn't about her. That was about you. So when I seen the man, I just asked him, "You know her?" He smirked and just everything. I don't know. Next thing I know, it was blood everywhere. Like it was serious. And when I got incarcerated and I did my time, it was just like I learned so much there. Some people say like first of all, incarceration doesn't reform you. You have to choose what you want to do with yourself. And that's when I started to begin to learn who Jennifer was and get an idea of her. Because I didn't know her yet. I'm starting to know her now and appreciate her. But then I was getting to know. I was getting to know that was wrong, what I was going through. I was getting to know my mother had a sickness, you know? So.
Right. Yo, Jennifer, I need you to do me a favor.
Was this like
I need you to jump off.
Yes.
I need you to jump off, and I need you to call my phone so I can put you on speakerphone right now. I want you to jump off and call my phone so I can put you on speaker. So at least we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So that was deep.
And that's why I want her to jump off so we can hear her clearly. Because I don't know what's going on that the devil don't want her heard tonight. But you don't win this game, sir. We don't play that here.
So yeah, man, I was not expecting this to show up for me tonight. Like I had no idea. Oh my God, it just takes me back. But what I love is I know that I'm free now, right? And for the woman out there that's in a situation that
we got you back.
Is she on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yes, it was.
That sounds good.
It was a lot. I wrote my mother a 20-page letter in there, explaining to her, expressing all my feelings, and she didn't get clean until I was about 27.
Wow.
I'm 41 now, but I said, you know what? I'm not gonna. It's better late than never because now you could be a grandmother.
Right.
You know? And she is a wonderful grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me her to really get along too much in the same room. Because like me and my brother, my sister went through a lot too. And my brother went through a lot, may he rest in peace. But in between him, he was also raped, being us being in the system, and he caught HIV being raped. So that's what made me resent her, and I try not to, and I try, but I tell her, like, let me move on the way I want to move on, and if you have guilt, that's your issue, that's not mine.
Right.
You can't let me relive it, because every time I see her, she wants to relive it. I can't relive it.
No, because it's like, from what I understand, because I've had a few friends whose parents were addicts at very important junctures in their lives, and it's like they wake up from the addiction and it's like they want to go back and redo it, but it's done. So it's time to focus on the now and continue to grow and move forward, because if you continue to dig up the past, eventually those of us that are like, I've buried that, I'm done with that, I'm focusing on these things now, are going to say, you know what, I love you, but I can't spend any or very limited time with you, because that's not what I'm willing to focus on. Because as we all know, what we focus on grows.
Exactly. And the rage that I had for her, and I'm trying to tell her, like, one day we had an incident in the hospital. My brother's on his deathbed. She was trying to make it about her, and I snapped. And I thank God for the security. I thank God for the doctors, because God forbid I'd have been back in prison for hurting my own mother.
Lord.
And it's like the rage I see, because she's going to tell me she's sick of going through this with him. I'm just looking like, you just joined the bandwagon. I've been doing this with my brother and my sister for years. While I was still a child, you tired of him. And I looked at him and I seen the hurt in his eyes, that he squeezed my hand and I lost it. I've been protecting my brother and sister for life. Like, so you're no different. I've been protecting him from you forever. You're not going to come here on his last breath and do that to him.
Right.
Now, my brother's death, I'm still trying to cope with that. That's still something that's just hard for me.
Right.
Because he was my brother, but he was like my son. Like, my brother and sisters, my siblings, but they're my kids.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
So, like, it was real deep. And then the thing we're born, trying to still deal with that, like, I wasn't even supposed to say that name. But, yeah, I went through that for so I was about 17 when I got arrested. And when that happened, I'm doing my time. His sister came through the system. I'm like, what you doing here? She was like, I'm going to his funeral. I'm like, his funeral? Someone went up to him in his face, shot him in his face. Let me tell you how. I've never heard no one go brain dead and come back. This man was brain dead at one time and came back. When he came back, they said the way he really passed away was because someone came to visit him in the hospital and smothered him in his sleep. For someone to just come up to you in your face, you had to do a lot of stuff in your life. A lot of stuff. And I wish he could have got the help that he needed. And today I don't hate him. Today I don't. Before, yes, I held a lot of hate. I still have rage that I'm still trying to let go, because now it's from, my mother. And then dealing with the death of my brother. I feel like if she was a better mother, maybe certain things would have turned out. But I can't think like that no more, because that's thinking in the past. I need to go forward.
That part.
And I have to keep moving, because my biggest fear is putting the trauma on my daughter. I did everything I can, what I'm doing now, so she don't know that life. Don't you know I took her to the city? Because, she was really brought up in Jersey. I took her to the city one day. We went to go visit a friend. We had to go to the projects. She said, Mommy, we got to go in there? I said, yeah. We got to go in there? I said, we staying long? I said, girl, this is where I'm from. I said, but you ain't have to, because I made sure that. She said, thank you. I was like, oh my God.
That's powerful. That's powerful in itself. It's like whenever you have them days that you do really want to go flip mode because of the things you've been through. You just, I know that's why you always got to picture your daughter close. I know that's why.
Yes.
But you know what, Jennifer, one of the things I love about what you said you don't hate him anymore. And I don't hate the person that abused me anymore. And the thing is, what I learned how to do as a kid, and I still do as an adult, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm a blocker, and I don't have real detachment issues. Like, I literally can block people, and you can be blocked. And I don't care. It's like I feel nothing. That saying, I feel nothing. I literally can feel nothing for you. Not hating you, not want nothing to happen to you. But when I'm done, I'm done. But what I also know about the brain, once you train it to be away, that's the way it's going to be. They're saying the way you do one thing is how you do everything. Is so true. So when you make space in the brain to say, I'm going to let that thing go, it's magically and naturally starts. Because remember, I talked about in the beginning, the mind, the mood, the money. When you start training your brain to say, I refuse to let that thing control me anymore, because the brain has only so much of a capacity because we don't use it. We don't stretch it or expand it well enough for us to do and think differently. But when you start doing and thinking differently in your brain, in your mind, about the negative things or the positive things in your life, it's something that happens when you free that space and give it room to flow that positivity in, and that new habit about thinking about the way people have hurt you and the response to them. So what happens is, when you freed him, when you stop hating him, you gave you permission to create a new habit, to start doing things differently so you can free you. This is not about him or them or us. It's about us individually, not us as a collective. It's about us individually. How can I free me so everything else can make room and I can expand my brain wide enough, deep enough, so that this thing or that thing or that thing won't affect me the same way that caused me to be incarcerated, that caused me to want to shoot, kill, and destroy. How can I do that? So when you learn, first is awareness. I'm aware of what's happening to me. Then I'm gonna put forth the actions so that I can keep that thing going to be a better me. Now my mindset about that thing I was dealing with, that person who hurt me, that person that betrayed me, that person that made me feel good, whatever it is. Once you create that new habit, it starts to be the thing you do. It's no different from when you first learned how to tie your shoes. It was difficult for you. It's a woman out there right now saying this is a God dang on, this dang on bow just won't do right. The knot won't do right. It's different sizes. Ugh, it's frustrating. You know, you feel like, oh my God, I can't do it. But before so long, it becomes a no-brainer. So it becomes easier. So now, when the next mojo comes towards you with that foolishness, the brain recognizes it, and then you deal with it a different way. And guess what? The new you starts to show an overflow of positivity and control continues to happen time after time. So I love that you say you don't hate him anymore. That gives you room to rid that so you can start doing things differently so you can get a different outcome. So I love that.
Thank you. Like that. And then you know what else too? When you do it the first time with one of the hardest things in your life, it becomes easier with everything else. Have you noticed that? Because I've noticed that because like it's other people that it was just like a chain reaction, like just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh my God. And I felt lighter.
Just said that.
Have you ever heard of Joe Dispenza?
I've heard the name, but I haven't seen any of his videos.
She reminds me of him right now because it's like the way they talk about the brain, the way they had to analyze and the way they understand it. It's the same way I've been drilling myself with him lately. And she's completely right. She's completely right. Like I'm just full right now, like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like y'all filled me tonight. Seriously.
Oh, most definitely. And what I absolutely love, and I thank you so much for being as transparent as you are, because there are a lot of people out here. They think that their life is just too far gone. There's no point in trying to do better. Okay, you done been through the ringer and then some. If there is anybody out there right now that catches the show, I know we've had a lot of technical difficulties, but we're going to figure this out. We're definitely going to have Jennifer back because she's too powerful to be kept silent.
And y'all know what just showed up for me? That song, Lean on Me. We are not strong.
I have a better phone or I have my computer next time.
Listen, lean on you. I don't mean nobody else. You got to learn how to start leaning on you. So when the shiny objects start coming your way and the sweet talking and all this stuff that you feel like you got to avoid and that you need, and this is the only man or woman or whoever it is that can give you that thing, allow yourself some flexibility and lean on you. The more you strengthen you, the less likely you are to depend on anybody else. Now, don't be fooled. You ain't got to be the strong black, white, green, yellow, polka dotted woman. I'm not asking for that because that's a whole nother story. Because I can talk about that. I am not a strong black woman. When I think of strong, I think of steel. I think of lifting weights. I think about carrying something that's too heavy. That we got to talk about this on the live. So I don't proclaim to be a strong black woman, but people in other races, they're seen as fragile and feeble and human and animate, while black women are seen as inanimate because we strong black women. Honey, my wrist broke. If you want to hear me, they broke. So all I'm saying is you have to realize, for real, y'all, the more you depend on you, and I don't mean selfishly in a way that is negative and you strong. I mean your mindset, the way you view things. It's okay to have your own opinion and own it. Have your own opinion and own it. Separate of anyone else. Stand 10 toes down for you. So when Jody comes and he's giving you those things, whatever voids you have.
Not Jody.
Research how to fill that void without an individual.
She done
that
brought
right
baby
there
boy into the picture.
will fit, huh?
That was Tyrese's name on Baby Boy.
Jody, right. Research, because I don't have all the answers. I ain't always been a coach, y'all. I had to learn this. I started researching what to do outside of individuals to make me successful.
Right. She said, you don't have that expectation, you can't get hurt because it's on you.
Come on.
Exactly.
I love it. But some people
have expectations on no one no more. You
that's
can't.
an easier said
than God.
But that's an easier said than done thing because most people are tangible. That's why I'm saying knowing who you are authentically and being who you are unapologetically is the most important thing you can do for you. Because again, if you don't figure out a tangible way to take care of your mind, everything else is going to just be everything. You're a puppet to everything and everybody around you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, we are coming up on the end of tonight's show, but before we wrap up here, Jennifer, thank you, so much for hanging in there and working through these technical issues. I know it was extremely frustrating, and to those of you that hung on, share some love, share some likes, and still stuck through this show, thank you. We are going to get Jennifer back. We are definitely going to get Jennifer back. We're going to get rid of these technical issues next go around, but what would you like everybody to know and or focus on that has helped you through the things that you've come through like a champ?
Like, you just gotta, don't blame yourself too much. Don't, because everyone be like, oh, it's my fault, maybe that's why, because I'm doing this. No. Damn. Because it's a lot of people. It's a lot. And there's a few that I think that's going through it that they don't want to say because the way they've been in my inbox. I'm going to reach out to them, though, but it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And there's a lot. You'd be surprised. Don't judge yourself. Love you more and love you first.
Come on.
That part. So, y'all, to those of you that stuck through tonight's episode with all the issues and so on and so forth, thank you. To all of you that are going to catch this episode a little bit later, thank you. To Jennifer for coming on here and being transparent and sharing all the nitty gritty, the dirty stuff that most people would never, ever share about themselves, even though they've been through it and somebody could learn something that could change their lives. This is why she does it. This is why I do it. I tell you stuff about myself that most people like, you supposed to keep that behind closed doors. Closed doors is the reason why generational curses exist.
Come on.
We here to break them. So if y'all don't know how, first thing I'll suggest you get your butt on out here. I'm going to drop the link in a little bit. I got to go on Amazon to grab it. But there is a book created by Daniela Roman with several authors. One of the stories in it is Jennifer's full story. So I'll drop that link from Amazon in the comments a little bit later. I should have did that ahead of time, but you know how we do on this show. We flow. It's one of the things I forgot. I'll be perfect with it next week. Maybe. But with that, y'all, we want to thank you. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time tonight. And we look forward to getting you on here again without technical issues. And even if we had technical issues, well, shit, I'm just going to put you on speakerphone again, damn it. Coach Toy, thank you so much for being our guest host.
You're welcome.
She was great.
Yes.
Yes.
So with that, y'all, thank you so much for sharing time with us this evening. We will see you next week where we will be featuring and having our wonderful sister queen, Coach T. Nicole, in the building.
Yes.
Until then, see y'all next time. Mwah.
Mwah. Good night.